Do you worry that the younger people today just don't have a sense of history? They don't know what McCarthyism was. They don't know what Hoover was doing. They've never seen the law co-opted that way, so they don't have a point of reference?
I think that's part of it. But I don't think they care. I don't think they care. For them, the ends justify the means. We need to do, and then A, B, C, D, the progressive elements, the left, the woke elements, many of which I agree with. But I don't agree with the means that they're prepared to use to achieve those ends. I want to achieve those ends through the ballot box. Look, I'm a strong supporter of a woman's right to choose abortion, but I wouldn't support going to the home of a justice who voted the other way and threatening to kill him. What I want to do is what's happening now. Democrats are winning elections when abortion is becoming the issue. We can win a lot of these issues legitimately at the polls, and we shouldn't be using illegitimate means like get Trump or get Kavanaugh, who's the justice of the Supreme Court. We shouldn't be targeting people like that. That's extremely dangerous. Today it's Trump. Tomorrow it's a Democrat. The day after tomorrow, it's your friend, and then it's you.
Yeah, that's what people need to understand. You talked about the search of Trump's office in Mar-a-Lago, and then you compared it to the fact that, you know, Hillary was never searched and there was nothing ever taken against her when she was accused, I think, of the emails, et cetera. Can you speak on that as well as kind of an overstepping of the law?
Yeah, look, I think the way they handled Hillary Clinton overstepped it. Although they didn't search and they didn't prosecute the former head of the FBI, James Comey, on the eve of the election, accused her of misconduct that may have had an impact on the election. But I don't want to prosecute Hillary Clinton. I don't want to prosecute Joe Biden or Hunter Biden unless there are real crimes that have come out. But there are Republicans now who are saying to Democrat DAs, look at Hunter Biden, go after him, go after Jill Biden, go after Joe Biden. No, that's not the way our system should work. I think we have to, if crimes are committed, let's find out who did the crimes, not go after people and find out if we can construct, manufacture, or concoct a crime against them. That's just not the right way.
Alan, you're a champion of free speech, and I wanted to get your thoughts on what you saw in the Twitter files that came out. And again, just as a point of reference, you know, back in April of 2020, I was struggling to speak freely on some of my tech platforms, specifically YouTube at the time. And they kind of took me off and started banning my videos and channels. And I was in a weird conundrum, Alan, because I stood up and said, wait a second, you're violating my First Amendment rights. Of course, I'm an American in Britain. And the government said, no, you signed a privacy policy for a private company, and so you have to do what they say. And then I said, well, no one's protecting my rights. I find out later via the Twitter files that my government was then going to the private company to violate my constitutional rights that way. And then, of course, nobody was to blame. That's the way I'm seeing this. What do you see in the Twitter files? Do you have any thoughts on what happened or what should have happened there?
Yeah, you know, I've written 52 books, so inevitably I've written a couple on that. I wrote a book called The Case Against the New Censorship, in which I deal with private censorship by private companies which have had influence by the government. The government has put its thumb on the scales with Twitter and with others. I had a debate with Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. and I disagree about vaccination policy. We agree about the environment. We're friends. But we had a pretty tough debate on vaccination policy. YouTube wrote and said, we're taking down the Kennedy part of the debate. We'll leave the Dershowitz part up because he advocated vaccination and masks. And I said, no, you can't do that. It was a debate. I don't want my one-sided views, so don't take any of them down. Well, they took us all down at that point. But then it went on Rumble and got, I don't know, 1 million views or something like that. So there is that censorship. Look, my book, Get Trump, is being censored now. It's been #1 on Amazon as a nonfiction adult book now for a couple of weeks. But you cannot buy it in independent bookstores in many cities because independent small bookstores, they claim to be independent, don't want to run a book entitled Get Trump. They don't want to be perceived as on Trump's side.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.